Good morning, everybody. A little bit of messed upness to get started. When you're by yourself, you make a couple mistakes. How does that song go? All by myself. Yes, I'm still all by myself for now. Hopefully, Terry will be back. I think from when I talked to him, maybe sometime in the middle of next week. So again, Terry and Honey Bunny, we hope the things are going okay for you. Yesterday, we had a pretty good start to the card at Colonial Downs. Managed to hit another pick four, which is a great thing. Happy about that. I think that's the 6th or 7th consecutive day we brought home a pick four. So we'll see if we can do that again today. I want to say hello to all of our friends from Turkey. Know that today is the day where we can go ahead and bet on Delaware Park in that country. So hopefully we have a solid day for you on the day that you're allowed to go ahead and bet at Delaware Park. I don't know if you had a chance to last night. Hopefully you caught our show Horse Center last night. Horse Center, we had on trainer Keith Austin, who we talked a little bit about the HISA. Had a lot of fun actually talking about HISA. It was a really good time. It was just good timing when he came onto the show. Talked about some of the different rules and how they impact him personally as a trainer, and how, since he's from the state of Louisiana, Louisiana is one of those states that's actually fighting against the HISA rules, and he was kind of proud of that. He also had some dating advice. So if you're looking for your life partner, you might want to tune in and see what Keith had to say about that. It's definitely a lot of fun there. And then tonight at 8 o'clock, we will have on, well, first want to mention that Eddie and Chris will be speaking to legendary jockey agent Ronnie Anderson. So you're going to want to check that out. And then also, as I mentioned, tonight, I don't know what the hell Sean's doing over here, but tonight on the Horse Center show, we will have on, I think we Hall of Famer Santos. So I don't know where that is, Sean. That's supposed to be up here, but it's not up here. But tonight, come to the show. It'll be there, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. All you need to do to make sure you don't miss it is go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're on YouTube. Follow us on social sites on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Horse Race Today. And then, of course, you will absolutely 100% see the show tonight with Sean and I, and you'll never miss this show, which is probably a good idea to never miss this show. The first race today we're going to do at Delaware Park is a 5.5 furlong maiden claiming $40,000 race. A lot of scratches at the Delaware Park today, kind of messing up the ticket. So let's go ahead and take a look at the profile of a winner at 5.5 furlongs. But they're running a lot of these races, by the way, today at Delaware Park. So let's take a look at a profile of a winner, 5.5 furlongs, Delaware Park. You will see that at 5.5 furlongs, Delaware Park, they have run 34 races. 26 were won by speed. 12 went wire to wire. You do get a slight discount if you ride from the rail. 2 and 3, you get a little bit of bonus. 4 through 7, a bigger discount. 8+, no winners yet. So you definitely want to be on the inside, it looks like. And then if we look at our pace setup, as we've been talking about the last couple of days, you'll see here in race number 1 at Delaware Park, didn't really get bombarded by the scratches. Does look to me like you see some early pace, nice numbers here out of the 7 horse, a little drop in class. Pace should set up. The 2 horses, one of these left arrow horses, also dropping in class. So got a couple positive things going on there. Happy about that. We should see perhaps how they set up in the race card today. See, you got the late pace number, the 6 horse being the top late pace horse in the field. If my mouse would cooperate, you would see that as well. And then you got a first time starter with the 1 horse. So looking at Delaware Park race number 1, my top choice for the first race, for the opening race, is the 2 horse. That is Super Rocker. Showed some early octane in its debut. Gets the first-time Lasix here. I like horses that get some speed and then get some Lasix, usually a combination that works out pretty nicely. So it's dropping from maiden special weight as well. Biggest class drop in all of horse racing, according to our friend Tom Carley. What's this one? Catch Him and Free Him is the second choice, the 5 horse. Got out of the gate in a hurry in his debut, faded, and now going to get that Lasix today as well, which should help. Has worked between starts, which I like to see, and also is a maiden special weight dropper as well. Number 4, Dagda. Improved fractions last time out. Held his speed a little bit longer in his second start, which is something that I also like to see. Horses that carry their speed a little bit longer, it means there are signs that they're getting a little bit sharper. This one is not dropping, however. It is staying at the same level. And then finally, the last choice in the first race at Delaware Park today is Freddiness. It's also a maiden special weight dropper. Fired out of the gate, faded 2, but unlike the 5 horse, doesn't get Lasix here, which I believe is going to give the 2 and the 5 an advantage over the rest of the field in race number 1. Hello, I'm from Venezuela. Good vibes. So hopefully everything is good vibing down in Venezuela. Today it's good vibes here in Chicago. I have a sweatshirt on. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees outside today, but the air conditioning is just ripping through the house. It's really cold, so it made me put the sweatshirt on today. I don't usually like to wear them in the summertime, but it's definitely a little bit cool around here today. Race number 2 at the Delaware card. This one is my best bet of the day. It's a mile, 70 yards, claiming $20,000 for a purse of 21 grand. A mile and 70 yards, profile of a winner on the main track. They've run it 21 times, 17 times of which was won by a horse that was first, second, or third at the opening quarter, 6 of which went wire to wire. If you ride from the rail, you get a slight discount, an even bigger discount from posts 2 and 3. If you wear a 4 or out, they tend to overperform, which is what we're looking for, horses to overperform. Let's go ahead and pull up our pace setup for race number 2. And you can see here, there were some scratches in this race here. Got the 1 horse scratched out, which was a boxed horse, what meant the pace setup should have favored him. The 3 horse got scratched out. The 2 horse got scratched out. We have what I like to call a couple of left arrow horses here. You have the 5 horse, who should move over. That left arrow means it's a pressure horse, but his early pace should put him closer to the lead. And then the 1A is also a pressure closer, so can come from off the pace. Also a green arrow horse, likely to be closer to the front. They'll still have that late kick, which should give them an advantage in this race. And we'll see exactly how we feel it'll play out. And as you'll see, that is exactly how we have our 2 left arrow horses in the first and second position. We'll go ahead and make the 5 horse our best bet of the day. And that's Shoot the Messenger. This one should be probably on the pace today with the scratches. Had better early pace numbers last time out and better fractions. The jockey only wins at 3% and the trainer only wins at 4%, but I still feel like this is the best horse, so they'll both maybe see their numbers go up a little bit here today. Number 1A is the second choice in race number 2. Goes back to dirt after giving grass a go. While he didn't like the turf, the first quarter mile and the half mile, his times were better than the previous race. Does have a bullet workout in between races, and maybe trainer Jamie Ness used the last race to get ready for this race, which is kind of looks like to me. Number 4, Hefner, probably another that I'd rather see run on a wet track. On a fast track, he's done it 8 times, 2 seconds and 2/3. Interestingly, today, it is a fast track. It is sunny, but they're off the turf today. The 4 horse Hefner did show some improvement in his last race, and maybe he does a little bit better in his second start at Delaware Park. And then finally, Snow Candy scratched into this spot. Does have a little bit of back speed. Is stretching out in distance, and maybe that back speed will help the horse a touch in race number 2. Race 3 is the next race on the Delaware Park card. It is a 5.5 furlong maiden claiming $2,500. Again, we opened up with a 5.5 furlong race because these are a lot of first-time starters in here, some horses with limited experience. We didn't go through the pace setup. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's going to be my box it up race. And the box it up is when we go ahead and take 4 horses. We put them in a 50-cent a trifecta box, a $1 exacta box, a 10-cent superfecta box. Hit the box it up yesterday for a really nice exacta, really nice trifecta as well. As Jerry told me in a text, hey, your box it up paid for half of your prime rib pick 4. which we also hit yesterday for, I think, about $150, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I think it was $150. So again, it was the 6th or 7th day in a row that we hit the prime rib. Let's pick 4. Let's see if we can hit the box it up again today in race number 3 at Delaware Park. 5.5 furlongs where speed matters. I'm going to start with number 3, a Rebel Consort. I think there's going to be a likely, or maybe a couple likely low odd horses in here, but we're going to try to beat them with the 3-horse. This one, if I look at the May 17th 3 furlong workout of 36-2, I like that. Then also had a June 25th workout of 3 furlongs, 36-4. I like that as well. Those fast get out of the gate type workouts are surrounded by some maintenance work. So a horse should be fast, should be fit, should be ready to go. Golden Nev, this one's likely to be your heavy favorite in here. Finished second as the 90-cent favorite last time out in its debut. I would have liked to seen a workout in between races for number 7, Belle Nev, but I still think this is probably the class of the field, but I always try to beat the short-priced horses in these maiden races. Number 6, Shell Bell, probably going to take plenty of money as well because of trainer Jamie Ness, but Jamie Ness does underperform with first-timers and maiden claimers relative to his overall win rate of 30%, although this guy has some pretty good workouts. And then finally, number 4, Quantico Creek, the most expensive horse in the field at $45,000, so not expensive by, really expensive horse measure, less expensive relative to the rest of these. And if you look at any of the other horses in the field that have experience or their workouts on the first-time starters, kind of hard to make a case for some of them. So if you can't make a case for them, you certainly can't play them, right? You have to bet your convictions, so to speak. Race 4 is my long shot of the day. So we're going to go box it up. We're going to go best bet. We're going to go long shot. And in a second, we're going to do the opening pick 4, which is going to be my prime rib once again. This is, again, a 5.5 furlong, claiming 62.5 for a purse of $17,000. So it's running for a little bit of money here. And we do have an opportunity, again, to take a look at the our pace setup for race number 4. Again, we have a couple scratches, at least one scratch in here that impacts the outcome of this. What could impact the race here? But the 5-horse scratched out. So that's one of the pace horses is going to leave the race. And you can see here, I got the square around the 4. That means there's a pace set up to his favor. Should be at the front of the race, which is where he likes to be. But I have a plus mark here. That plus mark means that early pace advantage is bigger than most. So he's got a pretty good advantage there. The 1 horse and late pace 2, this one's squared off as well because he should also be in a comfort zone for him. Pressure horse has enough early pace to be right where it wants to be. And then, of course, the horse with the most late pace in the field is the 2 horse. The late pace with number 3, here you see an arrow, in this case, going to the right. This is not an arrow I want to see because that means he's supposed to be the front. But his early pace numbers and his early factions probably won't put him there. So even if the 6 does jump out to the lead, it means it's probably going to have to work too hard, in my opinion, which would probably lead to it fading. That's not what you want when your horse is taking on the lead. You want him to get there and stay there. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead to race number 4 and start off with number 4. Revolutionary Rose, my long shot today at Delaware Park. This one had decent, as I mentioned, early pace advantage over the other E-horses, and one of them scratched out, so it makes it even more dramatic. As I like to call those horses, it's the speed of the speed. Did show better fractions last out, dropping in class, dropping in from Laurel, track drop. I don't know that he's going to be, I think it was an 8-1 morning line. I don't think you're going to see that, to be honest. Lately, a couple days ago, my long shot was 6-1 morning line, went off at 7-5. So I don't. I didn't expect that. I thought the odds would drop, but not like that. Number 1, High Cotton 5, second choice in race number 4, is the horse that if these E-horses go out too fast, so in other words, the horses that like to be in the front, this 8-year-old will be licking his chops. We'll call him a Little Red Riding Hood horse because my grandma, how fast those opening fractions are going. Yes, the better to pass you with. Finally, third pick in race number 4 is number 6, Green Growth. Pace numbers were better across the board, so beginning of the race, the middle of the race, the end of the race. Pace numbers improved from the previous race. That all showed up in better fractions. But he hasn't won lately without the lead, as we mentioned. So you're probably going to see that horse, maybe with the right arrow horse, back up. But I expect that you'll see him a length or two behind the 4-horse. Maybe with the scratches in this field, keeps him in the box for third. And then finally, Whirlin' Curlin does have the top late pace numbers for this crew. If the speed falters and the 1 doesn't take advantage of it, the 2-horse is the one that's most likely to get that job done. And that brings us to our first pick 4 of the day, which is our prime rib today. Prime rib going early has been working for me. So, if it ain't broke, how's the saying go? You don't fix it. So we're not going to fix it. We're going to go race number 1, 4 horses, over 3 horses, over 4 horses, over 4 horses. Hopefully to catch a nice price in that mix again. See if we can make it 7 or 8 days in a row where we cash a vertical pick 4 ticket. Before we move forward, I also want to mention that Major League Baseball, despite screwing up the home run derby, is likely to be back. Well, we'll be back. It returns tomorrow. And what you're going to want to do before tomorrow in order to make sure that you can make the most of the baseball season is you're going to want to bookmark Picks with the Professor, because if you bet Major League Baseball, you're going to want to definitely follow Picks with the Professor. He's come on board as a partner of ours in terms of mentioning or promoting what he does, because we did a lot of research before we teamed up. They're telling their folks about us. We're telling our folks about them. We both did our homework before teaming up together to make sure that we can complement each other. But Professor Sides has, since he started working with us on his play of the day, which we'll talk about tomorrow, his play of the day has got a push, 1 rain out, and 1 every other time. So again, bookmark Picks with the Professor so that when baseball returns tomorrow, you can go to it pretty quickly. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. You'll see a link to it in the description here on Facebook and on YouTube. And while you're there, please, again, subscribe. And if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the higher we go up in the Google algorithms, the more people who will come across our show. It's one way you can support us. Another way you can support us is to go over to horseracingtoday.net. And while you're there, please click on HRT Gear. Head on over to the HRT Gear shop. Get yourself a fantastic t-shirt. Mine like this is on the way. Our Chris P from Spot Plays, which will be, again, this Saturday, probably highlighting some big races at Saratoga, says these shirts are dynamite. So you're going to want to, and what Chris says around here is gold, baby. So make sure you go ahead, help the show by doing 2 things. Following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, liking us, retweeting us, giving us thumbs up. Hook yourself up with some fantastic looking HRT gear like I'm sporting right now. Support the show, and hopefully we actually pay for it with some nice winning picks. Let's move on to the 5th race at Delaware Park today. Race number 5 is a 1 mile and 70 yards. It was supposed to be on the turf. It's not on the turf today. I don't know why they took the races off the turf today, because it looks like on the weather forecast was sunny and warm. Let's take a look at race number 5 and 4 as far as the pace setup is concerned. You see here again, we got a bunch of scratches that are impacting the outcome of this race. 2 horses out, 5 horses out, 1 horse is out. 6 horse, again, this is a maiden type race. So I like to designate which direction they're moving. Are they moving up in class? Are they moving down in class? Because I have found that, as Tom Carley says, and many others have mentioned, that the drop in weight, the drop in class at the maiden level is probably the biggest drop in all of horse racing. And I really focus on those drops. I kind of discount form a little bit if they're dropping in form. Once again, here we have a class dropper with the left arrow horse, which something I like to see, meaning this horse, the 7 horse. It's usually a closer, so it likes to be at the back of the pack, make its move forward, but his pace numbers are going to put him closer to the front. That means if he runs his average race out of the gates, he'll be close to the front, but still will have the opportunity to make the most out of his late kick. And then race number 5, I did not put him as my first pick. I went with the 5 horse as my first selection in race number 5. Mile and 70 yards, there is one race that's a mile and 70 yards on the main track. So we'll talk a little bit about the profile of a winner on the dirt side, although the sheet that will be over on horseracingtoday.net in a minute with my notes does mention that it's a turf race. 1 mile and 70 yards on the main track, 21 races, 17 of which were won by speed, 6 of which went wire to wire. You get a slight discount from the rail, big discount if you wear a 2 or 3, 4+ overperform. The reason in race number 5, I went with the 5 horse. This one's making its first since October 23rd. Has 17 furlongs of workout since June 11th. Has the top late pace. And I think this one's likely to show a lot of improvement in her 4-year-old debut. A lot of times when horses have been off for a while, I'll come back a year older. They're bigger, stronger, faster. This one's making the maiden special weight drop to maiden claiming. And what's interesting to me here is Carol Cedeno, who's one of the top jockeys there, got off the 7 to ride here. So yeah, yesterday we played that angle. It worked out. On Monday we played that angle with Parks, with Frankie Peddington. Worked out for us then. We're certainly hoping for it to work out again for us today. Fever Dreaming. This one's taking the biggest maiden special weight to maiden claiming drop. First time start with Brittany Russell. She wins at 30%. That last race was god-awful on paper, but Brittany's put some decent workouts into this horse in between. Number 2, Silver Sea, is the last of the maiden special weight to maiden claiming droppers. Trainer Arnaud Delacour hits a 41%, taking that maiden special weight to maiden claiming move. And this horse rides a 27% win rail. Better 2 furlong numbers last time out. The 7 horse is dropping in class, but not as much. It's not making that maiden special weight to maiden claiming jump or drop, which is why I didn't rank him higher, even though he's a left arrow horse. Did run the top last race, speed figure last time. Did miss just by a little bit. Very strong late push at the end of the race. But what concerns me a little bit about that is the fractions were a little bit slower in that race, despite cutting back in distance. If you watch the show long enough, you'll know that I'm big on horses that go longer, but yet run similar fractions. So the opposite must be true then. If I like horses that go longer and run faster fractions, can't like horses that go shorter and run slower fractions. That doesn't work out. Race number 6 is one that's been really whacked up by some. I think this is one of the races that really got hit hard by the scratches. This one is a mile and 70 yards on the main track. It's optional, claiming $8,000. As I mentioned, you want to be fast. You kind of want to be on the outside, not on the inside. So, of course, we're going to go with the inside horse as our top pick. Again, this race has been smashed by scratches. You have the 2 horse scratched out. And when I say smashed, it may not look like it in terms of the number of horses, but when I did my handicapping, a lot of these horses were my top picks, so it really kind of messed things up. So you got the 2 horse out, you got the 7 horse out, you got the 1A out, you have the 5 out. Doesn't leave a whole lot. The boxes around these horses indicate that they're likely to get pace setups that fit their running styles, at least how they've won before. So we like those horses there. Here you can see all the other late pace horses have scratched out of this race, leaving the 3 and the 4 tied for the best late pace numbers. So this race, every horse in this race should get a trip that it likes, which is kind of interesting because you normally don't see that. So in terms of how I'm going to stack them up, I'm going to go with number 1 as the top choice here in race number 6 because VIP Code has run at Delaware Park 4 times, won 3 of them, but more importantly has run this mile and 70 yards 7 times, won 6 of them. I mean, that's pretty outstanding, I think. And last time out was better in the opening half mile of its race. As we talk to Craig Milkowski from Timeform US, he says pay attention to those opening quarter and half mile pace numbers. When they improve, usually a sign that the horse is on the upswing. And a horse that's won 6 out of 7 at the distance, I don't know how much more does it have to swing higher. Number 6, Petulant Delight, which has a leading jockey, Michael Sanchez, was going to ride the 2 horse here, but instead he moves to the 6 horse. The horse does have the top early pace numbers in the field, and its late pace improved aggressively in that last race. So if you put the two together, well, last time it won by 11, and that was its first race at Delaware Park. This is its first race at Delaware Park. So if it can repeat that last race, short field, sometimes you see those big wins. And usually it's been my experience that a big win is followed by another. Number 2B is the third choice here, has some back speed. Last race was considerably better at the end. And then finally, number 4, Tapping for Glory, 3 wins in 7 races at Delaware Park, just 1 win in 16 races elsewhere. In other words, that is a horse for the course angle. Race 7 is another one of those races that was supposed to be on the turf at 1 mile and 70 yards. It is not a mile on the turf. It is now on the dirt. We can pull up our pace setup here again. Once again, you see that the card has been, or this race has been at least impacted by a lot of scratches. The 7 out, the 9 out, the 1 out, the 4 out, the 8 out. You do again have a left arrow horse in here with the 6 horse, which has also the top late pace number. So likely to be the pace setter, or if not the pace setter, sit right behind the pace setter. And if the 6 isn't the pace setter, then it will likely be the 3 horse that gets that honor. And then, well, the 6 probably sits right behind him and runs right by him at the end. That's the way I see it in my rankings as well. So I have the 6 horse as the top choice here in race number 7. I think there's only 4, maybe 5 horses in this field. Blowing Big Smoke, as I mentioned, has the top early pace numbers, has the top late pace numbers. Quite simply, you can't pass what you can't catch. Number 3, Demir. This one drops in class and could be the pace setter if the 6 doesn't take that position. Most of the time with these shorter fields, I prefer to have a horse in the front, although I did get topped in my hot dog pick 4 yesterday by a short field where the 9 closed. But the other 3 horses in a 4-horse field, I don't know why. They all decided to go challenge each other aggressively early out. Number 5, Papa Jimmy, says the resume says this one should be at or near peak form in its third start after a layoff. And then closing out race number 7 with number 2, Soaking Wet, comes in from Tampa Bay Downs. This is one of those horses that, I call it a light switch horse. Sometimes the lights are on, sometimes the lights are off. Perhaps the lights will be on in this race at Delaware Park after shipping in from Tampa Bay Downs. The last race on the card, race number 8, just like we started, 5.5 furlongs. This one's a maiden $40,000 race, purse of $40,000 as well. 5.5 furlongs on the main track. So far, 34 races, 26 won by speed, a dozen of which going wire to wire. There is a slight discount if you were riding from the rail. 2 to 3, you get a bonus. 4 through 7, you get a little bit of a discount. No winners yet from 8 and out. So I'm going to start here by pulling up our pace pattern here for race number 8. Again, when you look at these numbers, this is how these horses have won in the past, or in the case of maidens, the best race that they've run in the past, because they haven't won yet. So you have a couple things going on here. The 7 horse is running at the same level as it ran before, so that doesn't bother me so much. Not really so much an E horse, but an EP horse could get towards the lead. We have another left arrow horse here with the 6 horse dropping in class, which I like to see, has better pace than where he's normally set up, likely to be closer to the front. The 1 horse has the top late pace numbers, but is moving up in class. That's the up arrow. And then you see over here, we got a couple of first-time starters. So it's a pretty interesting race to me. You don't have a clear-cut one that's going to get to the lead. Got a couple of first-time starters that can really mix things up. So we'll see how we play it out here. I'm going to start off the last race with number 6. That is Liz Colvin. I think this one should get the lead, and I think it actually has a pretty decent early pace advantage. Biggest maiden special weight dropper in the field, and has a pretty good workout in between races. Again, I like to see horses that are sharp, get a little bit of a maintenance workout, and then come back to the track. Number 7, Fisher's Flash Speed last out with improved 2 furlong and 4 furlong pace numbers. Also had a little bit better fractions. Those combinations have worked pretty well for me lately. Number 5, Kandar is the second biggest maiden special weight dropper in the field, switching from turf to dirt. 2 strong workouts between races. And finally, number 1, Haley B. Was the favorite in her debut, but not a real big favorite. It was like 5-2. Headed to the sidelines afterwards, so maybe something went wrong in that race. Has some really strong workouts followed by a couple of maintenance workouts preparing for her return to the track. So that brings us to the close of the Delaware Park card. Also means it's going to be our other pick 4 of this day, and I went with the hot dog pick 4 in the last 4 races today. It's my smaller budget. Going to start with 3. Going to go with 2 in the middle, both legs, and then a 3 on the outside. So this is where's the beef pick 4 for the hot dog, because you got the big bun on the outside and a little bit of skinny on the middle. Again, let's take a look at the full card picks. The best bet is in race number 5. The box it up is in race number 3. Let's pull the box it back up again. That's again $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Long shot is in race number 4. Our prime rib, which gets started in race number 1, the $96 ticket, 2, 5, 4, and 7. And then the hot dog pick 4 closes out the card at Delaware Park today. And that closes out all of our thoughts today for Delaware Park. Hopefully you like what you saw. If you did, again, give us a thumbs up. We'll be back here tomorrow. I'll be back. Hopefully we'll have Terry with us soon. We hope all things go well. My last race at Colonial Downs helped me win the exacta, but boxing 4 only broke even. I learned a lesson. Good luck today. Thank you, Janet. We appreciate that. Hopefully you boxed up the box it up, though, in the first race. What we did, our box it up yesterday, because that hit nicely. And then we did get off to a really good start at the first part of that card. 2 horses away from a perfect card yesterday in terms of running our box it up, our best bets, our long shots, and the pick 4s. We're looking to do that. We'll have out a wagering guide for this big weekend's races over at Monmouth, the Haskell. Once that's available, we'll let you know about that. We'll also have Samantha from Monmouth Park as our guest on the Player's Edge this coming Thursday night. That show will be at 9:30. I'm looking forward to that. Again, we'll be back tonight for Horse Center at 8 o'clock Eastern. You're going to want to catch that. And if you're going to do anything tonight, besides watch Sean and I on the Horse Center show, our free picks today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Again, there's a link in the description on Facebook and in the YouTube. Please hit that link or follow any link that you'll see on horseracingtoday.net so that they know you came from us. Penn National tonight is our free track. In the opening race, we have Sour Mash and Cheap Wine to steal from AC/DC. So go ahead and head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Get your free picks. And that's it for today, folks. I'll be back tomorrow to cover Saratoga. Same time. Off Friday. Tom's on vacation, so no 4 on Friday. Saturday at 9 a.m., our good friends Eddie C. and Chris P. will return for spot plays at Saratoga. I think they're at the track, so maybe they'll actually have some on-site insights as well. That's it for today, folks. No matter what you're doing, Penn National today, joining Sean and I tonight at Delaware Park or at Saratoga today. They're running at Saratoga as well. You can get our picks for Saratoga at Guaranteed Tip Sheet as well. No matter what you're doing, until we meet up tonight, tomorrow, the next time we get together, thank you for watching us. And, of course, I hope that your day and your picks end up in the winner's circle.